Buckle up, Buttercup. Live from Gloucester, Massachusetts. Podcasting around the world. You're listening to the GloucesterCast podcast, a production of Joey Shimataro and Good Morning Gloucester Media. Kick back, relax, and enjoy the show with your host, Joey Shimataro, and his crew of merry castaways. No piping plovers will be intentionally harmed in the production of this podcast.
Good morning, Gloucester. How is everybody this fine morning? We got Pat and Jimmy on the boulevard. How you guys doing over there?
We're doing great. What a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
We're here with Tom, who's a little camera shy right now.
Tom's over there.
He's
waving.
Big shout out to the Brancleone family for hosting us over there on the boulevard for the parade of Schooners today. You're almost directly behind where the announcers are going to be. Can you flip over?
From the upper deck, Joey.
Upper deck?
From the upper deck, Tom said, make sure we say that.
Upper deck, baby. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to switch around the camera. We're gonna lose your audio just so people will see for just a moment what the view is gonna be like. So when you're ready, Jim.
Okay, so we're gonna switch our camera over to the view.
Yeah, just so people can see the view.
Okay, you got it.
Slow and easy.
Yes, dear.
Oh, you don't have two cameras set up?
Well, yeah.
I think we misunderstood what you needed.
I was asking him to switch.
I think he just wants to switch it to the other
I'd like
camera.
you to show the viewers what the view is going to be like if you could. If you could just press that button.
Okay, ready, Joey?
There you go. I'm gonna take myself off. You're gonna lose the audio for just a moment, folks. But that is our view. You guys can come back when you want. That is our view.
Switch it back, he said.
Yep. And that's what the view is going to be when the parade of sale starts. The parade of sale is supposed to start at 10 a.m. Daisy Nell and Mike Costello and Justin Dimitri are down right on the boulevard, and they are going to be commentating, explaining each schooner as they go by. And I'm so proud of Pat and Jimmy. What a great job they did setting up this morning. What a day we got. What do you guys say over there?
Oh, right now, the boulevard is everyone's coming out. They are all coming out trying to get their position and to see this wonderful schooner parade.
It couldn't be a more beautiful day. There's lots of harbor traffic. People are gathering up on the boulevard, setting up their chairs for the big show that's coming up here shortly.
Yep.
Maritime Gloucester is on the boulevard right near Daisy set up, and they're selling some items, and they're also taking donations. If people just want to stop by and offer, that would be great. Carol Mondello's there, and say hi to Carol. Boy, she's the brains of a lot of things.
I got to go downstairs. I'm going to throw to you guys. I'll be right back.
Okay. Before we go very much further, we want to make sure that we thank the entire fireworks crew for a great show last night. Amazing.
Yeah.
So many people were out here enjoying the concert and the show. It was just amazing. So everybody that worked to bring us the fireworks, thank you very much.
I don't know the whole committee. I know Barry Pett is one of them because he came on our podcast to talk about it. What I love the most about the fireworks is they had an exquisite kind of ending. It was in the middle, and everyone started cheering from the boulevard because, and they started cheering because they thought, wow, what a great show. But then, no, it wasn't. They kept going for another 20 minutes, and boy,
I'm sure you were watching, right, Tom? What did you think? It was awesome. It really was.
I thought like a few times that it was over.
Yeah, a couple times we thought it was the end. And like the crew did an amazing job. It was a great night. We happened to be over we happened to be over by the bridge at our cousin's house, and the bridge had to go up during the fireworks, and that was not a popular. That was not a popular.
The bridge went up, and everyone on the side. We were hearing booing, and we couldn't understand why people were booing with the fireworks. And then we realized, because from where some people were sitting, when the bridge is up and the bell's going off, it interfered with some of it. And when
it didn't, though.
No,
not, at least we're from where we were.
But when that captain went through and that boat came through, boy, did they hear it. And that was another funny thing.
But anyway, thank you to Maritime Gloucester. What a weekend. We have spent a lot of time out on the water this weekend. Maritime Gloucester has been very generous in assisting us in getting out there. And we went on the Dennis Sullivan last night. We were on the Ardell on Thursday for Greet the Fleet, and then I was on the Isabella to greet the Ernestine of Morrissey. So it's been just a very full. Boy, am I sleeping good at night with the all this time outside. So it's been amazing. We were just thanking Maritime Gloucester and the fireworks people for an amazing show and a great weekend for the Schooner Fest this weekend, which is nowhere near over, but that's what we're doing here.
Did you happen to see the parade of lights last night?
Oh yeah, we did. We were right along the river at the Cut Bridge, and we did. Did you have fun? It looked like a lot of fun.
I didn't get out of work until too late to make it, so I actually didn't get to participate.
Jim said he saw you, but I was like, I don't think I saw him. But
so we do have some footage. I think this is provided by Charlene McCarthy. So
okay, good.
And we have one more clip.
Or is that it? Yeah, is that it? Honestly, I'm not. Oh, that's a cigarette. There's two of them.
So that was, I think that was the Maloney's boat and the hailstorm with some of the other people. People from the comments that I was getting this morning, people seem to really, really enjoy it.
Yeah. We're going to have to take a little turn on the plan here. We have our first schooners coming into the harbor right now. The head table down on the boulevard does not want to have live mics, hot mics. So we're going to try to narrate from here as best as we can. We can hear them ourselves.
Oh, okay. So, so are they going right now, Pat?
What are we doing? Oh, you just switched the camera. All right. So we got our.
I'll take myself off, so that way there it's a full screen.
Okay.
So it's going to be your audio, okay, Pat?
Gotcha.
But yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you have audio. Okay, great. Here you go.
Okay, so we got our first schooners just coming in. It's on the left of your screen, raising the sail. I am not sure who that is. I'm hoping we hear them tell us from down below. It looks to me like it might possibly be the Ernestina Morrissey, but I'm not positive. Mike Costello. I've been associated with this festival for 39 years, which has been a pleasure. No doubt Can we do the mic?
I'm talking to Justin. That's who I'm talking to.
The captains of Schooners who have made Labor Day and Gloucester event. They keep coming back. Gloucester will be here this year, and many in the past, as they Chair of the Gloucester Community Festival Committee, Daisy Nell Collins.
Good morning, everybody. Stand by for the beginning of the parade, which will
Jim,
start
how do I
at 10
turn
o'clock
this up?
with a very special feature of
Lift
the
it up.
parade.
Lift it up.
Here,
So that
and we're gonna
less
get
of the
started.
cars and more of
Get
the
your
sky.
coffee,
Okay.
get your drink, and your friends, and get ready to watch this spectacular event today. We have gorgeous weather. You just heard the beautiful pear-shaped homes with Mike Costello, former executive director of Chamber of Commerce, and I think he and I are the only ones left in the original festival committee, 1985, 39 years. This morning joining us, we also have Justin Dimitri, who is a historian at Maritime Gloucester, and Laura Lowell, who is the newspaper behind every one of my television stations. So stay tuned. I think we're going to get started at 10 o'clock, a little bit later on.
I agree. I think it's the Ernestina Morrissey that we see out there right now. Lots and lots of boat traffic out there, as you can see. It is. It is. What? Are we good?
No,
Okay.
I'm working on a deal.
Okay. Thank you, Paula. You are the kind of you're exactly the sort of person that we are hoping to reach today. People from away who cannot be here, or anybody that might be homebound or whatever, to be able to see what's going on. I am a little blinded here, so I'm having a little trouble. Is the Ernestina Morrissey out of range right now? We're all blind, but there soon enough there will be plenty.
I can switch this over now, and we can catch it.
That's probably a good idea. Let's
Okay,
do that.
so
We really don't need it on us. Nobody wants to see us. Not when we have these beautiful schooners here. Wow, it's a beautiful day. Let's see. Let's check the time here. Oh, 42. We are still early.
how's
That is supposed to start. What's that?
how's that look?
That looks like a lot of street. I see a lot of street, but
Okay.
But that's okay. That's all
No,
right.
I can fix that.
Leave it on there for now. We still have about 15 minutes before the actual parade of sails scheduled to start. So now we have a small schooner out there to the left, coming in from the left. But I can't wait till we can hear what the experts have to say.
Okay, so what's going to happen is when Daisy starts speaking, we will switch the mic over to Daisy.
Oh, okay, good.
When they stop talking, the mic will be off.
Okay.
So they will hear some stuff and not hear things.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Okay. It was all just a big test. Wow, the Ernestina Morrissey second sail is going up. I know I'm not using the right language, folks. So I do apologize. I might learn some of it one of these days.
Okay. I think it might be getting in my shot. How's that?
Yeah, I see her out there. The other shot is much better.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, because it's a longer lens.
It's a longer lens.
But you get a pretty good idea of how much traffic there is out there, both on the street and in the water today. But I don't blame anybody. It's the last official weekend of summer, and it's absolutely gorgeous out. I'm not usually the one doing all the talking, so I'm having a little trouble filling space here. Let's see what we got with comments. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. All right. Yes, we know, Joey. Thank you. There we go. Okay. All right. Oh, be careful here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ice. Ice for what?
Okay. Jim is working out a deal for the audio. We're about 15 minutes away from the start of the Parade of Schooners or Parade of Sails. We're very happy to have you all here. We have 44 people watching us right now. That's awesome. That's amazing. Certainly makes it worth getting out of bed and coming down here and getting set up for. So thank you all for joining us and being patient as we work this out. Again, thank you to Tom for his generosity in sharing his porch with us so that we can do this. We previously also thanked Maritime Gloucester and the Fireworks Committee and everybody that helped put together the concert last night. It's really been a very, very memorable weekend. Oh, thank you. Wow. Bonus. I know I was getting a tip today. I've just been handed a mimosa.
You
That's
better
awesome.
explain that.
I know. I guess I
The
probably.
two of us are up on the upper deck.
Yeah.
And people heard that.
Yeah. No.
Paula,
No.
it's not what you think.
But it's that's true. That's true.
Okay, I switched over to the.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. It is an impressive.
Wow. Thank you.
An impressive view this morning. The cannon has gone off a couple times. Tom told us it went off at sunrise. I believe it's also expected to go off at sunset, and then several other times in between. This is an amazing view. Oh, yes. Joey is sharing some information about a shuttle bus to Eastern Point Light for the race, which I believe is scheduled to start at 1. Yes. The race is scheduled to start at 1. And you'd be encouraged to take advantage of the shuttle bus to get out to Eastern Point. Because I've not been out there to watch the race, but it sounds like an ideal spot.
Okay, so in about 10 minutes, they're going to be talking about this schooner event. Folks, what will happen is we will be switching. We'll be going live to Daisy and all the other gentlemen that will be talking.
Michael and Justin.
Right, Michael and Justin. And then occasionally when there's a little lull time, we'll be switching the mics off and switching back over. That means you may have to go back to us.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. But we will keep the pictures going and, just let everybody see what they want to see.
In the path of the parade, you are kindly asked to weigh anchor and clear the course.
Oh, yeah. Right now what they're doing, I don't know if people can hear that, or Mike might pick it up, but they're making an announcement to clear the parade route because people are, it's like the greasy pole. They want to get the best shot. So they're coming in and they're anchoring to thinking they're going to see it. And meanwhile, they're kind of saying, nope, you're in. So I'll be switching the mics over for a second. You're going to be seeing a lot of boats moving around.
Here comes a big one.
Oh, big one.
Coming in from the left. They're all, I suppose, all going to be coming in from the left as they start the parade. This is one of the big ones.
Yeah, it should be coming around the corner pretty soon. You should be seeing it, folks. Well, it could be. The Columbia will probably be last. Folks, the Columbia is here for today.
That was our understanding.
Yes.
Although we haven't actually seen her yet.
Right. Well, everybody was telling us last night they're coming, so.
Can't read it. Can't tell who that is. Boy, she's beautiful. Look at all the people on there. How lucky. I understand that many of these. Oh, thank you so much. Many of these sales for the parade and for the race sell out very quickly. There seem to be quite a few people on this large vessel that's coming in from the left. I'm not sure who it is. I'm so bad at this. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, maybe you can explain how people who are listening can get on the boats, because you've done it so well.
That's adventure, we're told. I wondered if that was adventure. I think Jim wants me to tell you that tickets for these kinds of events are available through the Maritime Gloucester website. Each boat generally tickets their own sales, but you can access all of them through the Maritime Gloucester. Is that what you wanted?
Sure, and they need to plan ahead. I mean,
yeah.
If you know you're coming and you would like to get on the boat, we heard more people say they got here and tried to get on, and they said, "Oh, we're sold out."
I'm just all telling you right now, this girl is not going to be live streaming next year. This girl is going to be on one of those boats.
Uh-oh. Boy, that's how you kill the boss, huh?
Just in case Joey's listening.
So we can't see him.
Oh, and here comes another one. Oh my God, this is going to be great.
So as you can see, a number of the boats are coming out. They're going to get their sails up, and then they're going to be coming in, and we hope we can get a couple of loops in close to the boulevard as they can. It's dead low tide, so they have to be a little careful. There are a lot of people that are helpful in putting this event together, and they include the City of Gloucester and Mayor Greg Berger. We appreciate the city's support.
In case you can't hear, that's Mike Costello thanking the many people that helped, including Mayor Verga and the various city departments that have worked tirelessly to make this happen.
I think they muted their mics.
Okay.
I think they muted them.
Thank you, Jacob. This is a big help. I appreciate it. People with better eyes than mine and better knowledge, better familiarity with these boats. Tells us that he believes that's the Lannon behind the adventure. That totally makes sense.
Morning, everybody. Just a few quick notes. We'll get started again at 3 at 10 o'clock. But now,
Oh, good. Thank you, Paula.
All right, I got to go down there. They must have muted their mics.
Okay.
Okay, I got my phone.
Jim's going to go down and...
parade will start at 10 o'clock. We'll take a moment at the very beginning of the parade for a couple of serious announcements, and then we'll go on to celebrate the parade Schooners on the gorgeous day.
The red-sailed schooner, I believe, is Adventurer. She has been docked at Ocean Alliance, but this is the first time I'm seeing her with her sails all up. Oh boy. Okay. Right now you can see what I believe is the Adventurer, with the red sails, the Adventure, and the Lannon behind. You should be able to be seeing those coming to the right of your screen. Jim has gone down to check the mics.
So is Joey not coming?
Joey's not coming. He's working this morning. He's working at the dock. Lots and lots of people want lobster for Labor Day. Oh, we got a big one coming in from the left. That might be Tyrone. I think that might be Tyrone. Oh. It's like a schooner playground out there. This is amazing. Oh, and a small one, I believe, behind Adventurer. Think. Not sure who that is. Wow, this is amazing.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to start now with a moment that we all need to honor, and that is a moment to recognize the lobster fishermen who sacrificed their lives for the food.
Oh, American Eagle. Thank you, Jason.
And have the fed world, I meant to say, and take care of the remnant police. And also to remember those who we've lost this year. Those who make their living on the city, a moment of silence if you would please. And from Psalm 107, they that go down to the sea ship, that do business in great waters, these see the works of the Lord and wonders in deeds. For he commanded, and raised the stormy wind, which lifteth up the waves thereof. They mount up to the heavens. They go down again to the depths. Their soul is melted because of trouble. They reel to and fro and stagger like a drunken man, and are at their wits' end. Then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble, and he bringeth them out of their distress. He maketh the storm and calm, so that the waves thereof are still. They are men glad because they are quiet. Bringeth them unto their desired state. That brings us to the beginning of the 39th Lobster Schooner Festival, Parade of Schooners, coming in first now into the city.
Thank you, Paula.
Is Schooner Festival 1926, metric, yards. Now, sailing as flagship sponsor, Gloucester Schooner, Schooner Adventure, brought back sponsor in 1988 by Sharp and ran her to a windjammer in Maine after a long career as a dory trolling fishing water. Massachusetts Maritime Academy. Her skipper is Tiffany Gerwon. And I meant to tell you before that also the skipper of Adventure is Krista Miller. Leading the fleet with beautiful little girl Schooner Adventure and the Schooner Ernestina Morrissey. Schooner Ernestina Morrissey was also built at the James and Star Shipyard in Essex, built as the name Effie Morrissey, named for the captain, William Morrissey's daughter. And she fished the Grand Banks for more than 25 years, and then explored the Arctic for 20 years under Captain Bob Bartley. Served in the Navy during World War II, and then as a packet ship for passengers to and from the Cape Verde Islands up until 1962. Both of these beautiful schooners are National Historic Landmarks, and well, they should be, because these are the genuine schooners that made the Gloucester fishing schooner famous around the world. She is the iconic Gloucester fishing schooner.
Like that.
Associated with the oldest fishing port in the world. I'm sorry, in the country. There are a few of them. In Gloucester, then the fishing port is well known around the world. And this is the iconic fishing schooner. These two are the genuine fishing schooners, meaning there's nothing fake about it. If you want to see the genuine articles, you're looking at the picture right now. Schooner Ernestina Morrissey. Ernestina Morrissey will serve as a training ship at the Massachusetts Maritime Academy. What a wonderful way to continue our education program.
Young Clayton got his start on his father's vessel right in front of us, then known as the Effie Morris. The story is he was a teenager on banks, and his father, Billy Morrissey, got sick and spent most of the trip in his bunk. So this is where young Clayton Morrissey really began his storied career as a Gloucester Highlander.
So coming up behind the Ernestina Morrissey is the schooner American Eagle, now in Rockland, Maine. Originally launched in Gloucester as the Andrew and Rosalie in 1930, and then became known as the American Eagle. She's a beautiful fishing schooner, the last fishing schooner launched in Gloucester. She's now owned by Tyler King, a young man from Gloucester who grew up here and is now carrying on the tradition as a windjammer. You have to think the word windjammer is such a perfect way to describe when these big ships sail out of the port here now in Gloucester, up in Booth Bay, Camden, and Rockland, Maine, and they are taking people out just with wind power. And what an appropriate thing to think about. Wind power is back with climate change, and the way the weather is now, with just the wind, that's their engine. And some of them you'll see throughout this parade have a turbo, meaning the topsail way up top for extra wind in the sails. So pretty soon we can give a cheer to American Eagle. But before that, folks, let's just say 3 cheers for the schooner Ernestina Morrissey. She's been up in Booth Bay, Maine, being restored for at least 7 years, I think. She's been up there, completely restored there, and she's absolutely beautiful. I want to make a moment now to introduce the people here on the boulevard. We heard earlier from Mike Costello. He used to be the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce. Now he's directing me as chair of the Schooner Festival, and we love him and glad that he's here helping us every year. On our far end of our desk over here is Justin Dimitri, historian, son of Gloucester, grew up on the port, and he knows his history better than anybody. A person who's beside us right now also is Laura Lowell, an historian who is not only helping us with the background of these vessels, but is also in charge of not only ship genealogy, but human genealogy as well. She knows everything about everybody, so watch out. Here's something to note. The schooner with the dark sails, those are called tan bark sails. And that means in the old days they were actually dipped in a combination of tannin and bark tannin and other things to keep them from becoming rotted in the sun. So this is a schooner with reproduction style tan bark sails, very handsome looking schooner. She's a Cherubini schooner, earlier designed by Harrishoff, but now produced as a Cherubini schooner owned by Duncan Hood, all the way from Annapolis, Maryland, here today. He's also the current Commodore of the American Schooner Association. His sail, the main sail, the biggest sail on his schooner, is triangular in shape. And you'll notice that the Adventure and Effie Morrissey and the American Eagle have sails that are shaped more like a trapezoid, if you remember that word from elementary school. That's because there's a gap at the top of the sails that helps change the shape from a triangle to a parallelogram or a trapezoid, which allows them to have more wind up aloft where they need it. So the Cherubini is a very modern schooner and very fast. She'll be one to watch in the races this afternoon. So now we have the first of the Harold Burnham built schooners, Thomas E. Lannon. She was built in Essex in 1997. She is designed on what used to be referred to as a McManus-style schooner with a bowsprit and clipper bow. Those are two gas rig sails each. That's the biggest one. The next one forward is the Fore, F-O-R-E. And then in front of that is the jumbo, and out of the bowsprit is the jib. So that's a classic combination. Yeah, there you go. There's the Thomas Lannon. I think he's aiming at those small sailfish out there with the red sails. Better clear the path out there, boys. Up at the very top of the mast of the Thomas Lannon are extra extensions on the sails mast, and they are for top sails. Sometimes you'll hear us say things like topsails, so it's top like the old sailors did. Topsails and mainsails and foresails. Thank you for coming, Thomas E. Lannon. I know you didn't have to come far. Let's hear it for the Thomas E. Lannon, right out of the Port of Gloucester, built in Essex by Harold Burnham. So here's something we haven't seen before here in Gloucester at the Schooner Festival. This is a three-masted schooner. She's called Dennis Sullivan. And now, her home port is Gloucester, but she's formerly from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I just want you to know, in case you were wondering, she did not come overland. She's 137 feet. She is not a replica vessel, but her design was inspired by the Great Lakes cargo schooners of the 19th century. She's not flying it today, but if you see her out there later, she has an upside-down triangle called a raffy sail. Sail on like a square rigger would have, but it's called a raffy sail, and it's just used as a little turbo to help out when they need more wind when they're running downwind. That means with the wind behind them. She's been an education vessel out in the Great Lakes, teaching about maritime history. She's the flagship of Wisconsin and also of the United Nations Environment Program. Now she's serving the World Ocean School, sailing out of Boston and St. Croix in the Virgin Islands, doing sail training and educational charters for students of all backgrounds from December through April down in the islands and then back here in Boston. Sullivan, you're hurrah!
You'll notice on the Dennis Sullivan, she's carrying an extension on her bowsprit, and that's known as a jibboom. So this is a type of rig that some of the older schooners in Gloucester carry as well. If you look at the Thomas Lannon and the Ernest Morrissey, they have a more streamlined variant of that style of bow, and that would be a more efficient and safer version of the bowsprit.
So coming in now is like a double entry. That is the strongest, owned by Dom Techabach here in Gloucester. Formerly owned by Steve Walden, if those of you remember the wonderful guy, Steve Walden. For 12 years after received passing. Jeff Deckerbuck has completely rebuilt and restored the Schooners drama. She's actually built in Little Hampton, Sussex, in England. And you'll notice that they too have a triangular mainsail. That's on the main mast. So, for those of you who are not school in all this stuff, the mast is that tall thing that looks like a telephone pole. And then the first sail closest to the aft is the main sail. The one in front of that is the fore, and the one out in front of that is the jib. And what makes a schooner? Well, two or more masts, where the largest sail is the one closest to the end or the stern. Now, some people say the pointy end is the bow and the square end is the stern, but there's the schooner scrubbers come along to ruin that theory because their end is pointed. What are you going to do? And speaking of pointy ends, here comes Isabella. Now, Isabella, another boat built by Harold Burnham. There will be a test. This is a schooner with two gaff rig sails, the main and the fore, and a jib out front. Beautiful little schooner built for a private owner down in South Dartmouth, Massachusetts, but now owned by Harold Burnham and used as part of his charters here in Gloucester for the Ardell, the Isabella, and Harold Burnham, the Lois H. Story coming along behind. Harold Burnham is actually himself a National Historic Landmark. The amazing thing about Harold Burnham is that for a guy who's barely into his 50s, this is a stunning accomplishment for somebody who grew up in a shipbuilding family. Harold himself is the 11th generation of Burnham building boats in Essex. Schooner Lanham was built in 1997, and in 1998, the Lois H. Story was built. That's that small schooner there. The last three and now of the Burnham schooners that you've seen, that's built to be sort of what they think a tobacco boat looks like, although there are no known plans. But that has a mainsail. As you know, that's now the largest sail, close to the stern, very pointed stern. And then the foresail is the next sail forward. No jib, pointed at both ends. Sometimes people call that a pinky. A pinky schooner, pointed at both ends. Remember your mother's or grandmother's pinking shears? They made little points when they cut on fabric. And the pink stern, that means pointed stern, what you see on the Lois H. Story, right there in front of us. Let's have a cheer for the three Burnham boats we just seen, the Lois H. Story, the Isabella, Thomas E. Landis. Here comes a schooner near and dear to my heart. This is the schooner Redbird, bird owned by my husband Stan Collinson and myself. That's a gaff rig schooner. She has mainsail, foresail, and she is foresail. She has a jumbo, we call that, Cecil club jib, and then in front of that, the jib sail. She's captained today by Captain Stan Collinson with a wonderful crew on board, including my son, Patrick Henry, who says, give me liberty, or give me liberty from talking about schooners.
Daisy's Redbird is also the only vessel among us today that has a ferro cement hull. It's like sailing a swimming boat.
You know, people always say, how can you possibly sail a boat made of cement? And I always say, aside from the fact that it's the same material as our mooring, it also is the same material as most of the boats you've seen Gloucester are made of cement. And if you think about it, schooners of Gloucester carry large granite boulders all the way down the coast. The steps of the Washington Capitol are built from Rockport granite. So if it's lighter than the water, it will still float. And there are plenty of steel vessels out there that are heavier than cement. But in any case, it is kind of weird to think of a cement boat. Here she is, schooner Ardell, built by, yes, you guessed it. On the count of three, she was built by 1, 2, 3, Harold Brown. Let's hear it from the schooner Ardell. Ardell, named for Harold Burnham's grandmother, built in 2011 in Essex. Of course, and the notes here say she was launched at high tide. Well, as they say in the trade, no kidding. She is the flagship of Maritime Gloucester. Maritime Gloucester, as you probably know, is the producer of the Gloucester Schooner Festival, the home of the Ocean Explorers Education Program, and the hub of Harbor Loop at Gloucester's Harbor, a working waterfront organization, the home of the Schooner Adventure, and the Schooner Ardell, the Schooner Isabella, and a friendship sloop called Resolute, built by not Harold Burnham, Harold Burnham's father. The Ardell takes school children out all season long and takes out passengers all summer long. Gloucester has become a place for schooners that was only been building since the 1980s. We now have Atlantic, Ardell, Isabella, and Adventure, and soon, someday, the schooners will line a field. Sailing out of Gloucester. It's a wonderful thing for Gloucester to have schooners. As Jim Sharp said a long time ago, Gloucester always had schooners. We must have schooners. So there's the old Green Dragon right there. Green Dragon, designed by Scotty Gannett and built in Situate, Massachusetts. She was starting to be built in 1931, and then a little event called World War II got in the way, and she was finally launched in 1951. Owned by Andy Bezanson now, owned for many, many years, and still aboard Al Bezanson, the Bezanson family, perennial winners, without even cheating, at the Gloucester Schooner Festival. Let's hear it for the old Green Dragon. She's a wonderful boat, named for the Green Dragon Tavern, the headquarters of the American Revolution. Hey, there's a salute from the Schooner Alert. Schooner Alert is here from Bailey Island, Maine, captained by Bethany McNally Davis and Terry Davis. The skipper today is Bethany McNally Davis, and she is a beautiful schooner, 45 feet long, 70 feet overall. And when we say that, that means there's one length on deck and another when you add in the spar. In this case, that bowsprit gives her 70 feet overall. There's 1,866 square feet of sails on this boat, and that's not even the biggest one of these schooners. So you can imagine how many square feet of canvas these boats are carrying. And some of them are carrying, measured in miles, the running rigging that gets those sails up and down and adjusted by their crew. Schooner Alert was launched in 1992, and her name then was Tall Cotton, sailing from Florida to Maine, but now she sails as a fishing and research vessel and charter schooner out of Portland, Maine, and Bailey Island.
I love this. Downstairs was nice. Downstairs was recorded.
2 weeks ago, we went to Lincoln.
For those of you who have been coming to this schooner parade for many years, this is the first time we've actually been able to see up close the Fame, who just shot us. Schooner Fame was built by, on a three here, 1, 2, 3, Harold Burnham, a double-ender built to be a replica of an 1812 Schooner Fame that was deployed as a privateer. Privateer is government-sponsored piracy, which we're all familiar with. But the Fame actually was a privateer, and she was commissioned from Washington, D.C. in 1812. So the Fame runs out of Salem doing reproduction sales of what a real privateer would have done. They actually haven't stolen anything this year, but I understand they're a very honorable crew. Owned by Mike Rutstein, who publishes an unbelievably gorgeous magazine called Marlin Spike. If you want to know anything about boats, subscribe to Marlin Spike. It's a wonderful publication, and we are very grateful that he does that. It takes a lot of work and dedication. Let's hear it again for the Schooner of Fame, the privateer.
So if you're keeping score, the Fame, if we look at Harold Burnham's Schooners, sits between the Lewis Story, which is also a tobacco boat, and the Ardell. So that's one of the neat things about Harold's designs. He basically builds a different period with every schooner.
You'll hear now that cannon shot that came from Winnipeg, aiming at that Concordia yawl that's on the schooner. Take that, you interloper. So that's the schooner Winnipeg. And that is owned and captained by Seth Sullivan, running out of Salem, Massachusetts now. Winnipeg was built by General George Patton, who was then a colonel, and it was built for he and his wife to sail around the world when he, as he said to her, when the war is over and if I live through it. But Patton died before this cruise, and his family has sailed the vessel until the 1970s, after which they donated the boat to the Landmark School. Now the school used it as a training program for many, many years, and they're terrific programs for students with dyslexia. But now she's owned, after a major reconstruction, by Seth Saltzman, running out of Salem, Massachusetts. A beautiful schooner with a triangular mainsail. We call that a Marconi rig sail. Beautiful, beautiful schooner. Let's hear it for Win and M. This next schooner, the white schooner, with gas rig main and a gas rig floor and a jib out front, is a gorgeous white schooner owned by Brad Abbott, and her name is Calabash. Everybody who sees that schooner and hears the name of a certain age will always say, "Good night, Mrs. Calabash." Wherever you are. So this is the first schooner built by the legendary boat building company down in Martha's Vineyard, Gannon and Benjamin, launched in 1988. And here she is now, for the first time at the Gloucester Schooner Festival, captained by Brad Abbott as his personal vessel. She's an absolutely stunning vessel. I hope you have a chance to see her. She'll be over at Ocean Alliance, which we sometimes call, and always have called, the Paint Factory. Well, for those of you who haven't had enough, here is the Schooner Adventure coming back through. We asked these vessels to come through more than once for those of you who couldn't find a parking place. And so here's the Schooner Adventure again, built in 1926 at the James Yard in Essex. She was donated by Captain Jim Sharp, who ran her as a windjammer for many years, 20 years as a windjammer, sailing out of Camden, Maine. As Justin will tell you a little bit more about her rig, an important part of the evolution of schooners fishing out of Gloucester.
You know, one of the interesting things about the knockabout rig, it was designed to save lives, but unfortunately, it was arriving a little too late. By the time that the knockabout was being developed in the early 1900s, we were also experimenting with the first motor-powered schooners. So by the time Adventure was built in 1926, she was not all sail. She's what we would call an auxiliary schooner. She was designed with the diesel in mind. But her original skipper, Jeff Thomas, was legendary as a sailor, and he really was reluctant to give up the full sailing rig. But by the end of the 20s, even he had to admit that the diesel was taken over, and they reduced her rig. So you're seeing her here as she would have looked as a brand new fishing schooner back in the early 20s.
And just in time, see that dory, that yellow dory, flat bottom boat, associated with dory trawlers, and that's what Adventure did when she was first launched as a fishing schooner. She was a dory trawler, meaning she took dories out back from the deck, nestled like teacups on each side of the deck, and they would lower the dories over when they got to the fishing ground, and from those dories they would set the trawl line and catch the fish that way with hand-baited hooks, at least a half a mile in each tub. They would take out with them and set the trawl line, bring each one of those fish over the side by hand. In one 24-hour period, Adventure was able to bring in 120,000 pounds of haddock.
Back in the early days of the festival in the late '80s, things had been going so well that Gloucester decided it needed its own schooner, and we had a committee that for a couple of years looked into various possibilities, refurbishing one, building our own, looking at various alternatives, and then in 1988, Jim Sharp made the contribution of Adventure to the city of Gloucester, and the rest is history.
I wish I had the one. There is a settings that you keep.
Yeah.
Like going to finish football tournament, it's like 20-something people.
Oh,
So she puts it out there.
Here comes Ernestina Morrissey again. She's had a wonderful, wonderful career as starting as a Grand Bank schooner. Just recently restored, as you probably heard me say earlier. Her skipper today is one of several women skippers who are not only representing the organizations that they work for, the schooner, in the case of Ernestina Morrissey, now owned by Massachusetts Maritime Academy. But the skipper of this vessel has to represent the organization and also be a master of the ship. So there she is. She's saying hello to us. Let's give her a big cheer. Ernestina Morrissey, welcome back. One year during the Schooner Festival race out there off the breakwater, Ernestina, captained then by Amanda Madeira, noticed that there was zero, in fact less than zero wind to start the race. And all the schooners sat there at the starting line drifting backwards. But Amanda remembered the history of Ernestina and lowered down the dories, and they rowed her right across the starting line. And that's how Ernestina got her start that year. Rowed over the start, just like the traditional dory trawlers. Here comes American Eagle, and here comes Justin Dimitri to give you a couple of tidbits of information you might have missed earlier.
So as Daisy said earlier, the American Eagle was the last fishing schooner launched in Gloucester back in 1930. It's kind of an interesting story. She wasn't launched in the traditional way. She was built on a wharf, which was at the time owned by the United Sail Lodge, which is no longer in existence. It was wiped out during urban renewal, but if you know where the big American freezer is, down by Harbor Loop, that's roughly where she was launched. And when they built her on the wharf, they kind of just flopped her in the water. There's really some interesting pictures, including a big mural on the side of the TD Bank on Rogers Street showing her right before launching.
The American Eagle, now owned by Tyler King, son of Gloucester, runs her out of Rocky, Maine. The American Eagle is one of the fastest schooners in the entire fleet of schooners who race here annually. She has won the Esperanto Cup 14 times.
It was owned in the past by John Foss, who was one of the most loyal people in terms of coming back to the Schooner Festival every year, not only to win the race, but also just to show the flag and to bring the boat back to Gloucester.
Here again with the 10 bark sails, corporate sails schooner adventurer all the way to Annapolis, Maryland. Her skipper, Duncan Hood. Thank you for bringing her all the way here to Gloucester, Duncan. This is a great treat for us to see a boat coming from as far away as Maryland, down the Chesapeake, down Delaware Bay, up the coast, and thank you so much for bringing her all this way. There's the Thomas Lannon photo bombing the adventurer. I must say though, in defense of all these schooners, and actually in praise of these schooners, it is low tide right after a full moon. They don't have a lot of water to maneuver around in. Some of those vessels draw 17 feet of water.
You might notice that the Thomas Landon and Ernestine Morrissey share a similar profile. They're both what we call Fredonia schooners, which shows you that, based on the size, you can use this type of vessel for different types of fishing. So while the Ernestina was a bank schooner and would go off on distant grounds and fish for months, the Landon was designed after a small sword fishing schooner. So you notice that the Ellises have at the very end of their bowsprit, they have a pulpit, and that's where the striker would harpoon the swordfish.
Yes, harpooning wasn't just for whales.
Swordfish chips.
There's the three-masted Dennis Sullivan out there. We're delighted that she could be here to join us. It's just great to have her here. Christopher Flansburgh, the captain, and we are so happy. What a beautiful sight. I hope we have a chance to see later, maybe in the race, her lowering down that raffy sail. It's extraordinary. Trying to maneuver one of those vessels with 3 sails, it's really something. I hope you all have a chance to get out to the breakwater, or to the back shore, or to the State-Port Park and watch some of this race this afternoon. The race begins at 1. Somewhere off what we call Groner, that red buoy off of Eastern Point, and somewhere in a course about maybe 3 miles. Both will be racing the Esperanto Cup and various cups in between. Small schooners for Betty Ramsey Trophy, the medium schooner for the Ned Cameron Trophy. One of the contenders for the small schooner, the Betty Ramsey Trophy, is right here in front of us now with 1 red sail, 1 white sail, both gap rigs and 2 triangular sails. That's the schooner Eileen Marie, a Crocker schooner design, and that Eileen Marie is from Boston, Massachusetts. Not too far to sail down here for this race, and we wish her well this afternoon. A great little schooner, the Eileen Marie.
I just mentioned if you are interested in getting out to the breakwater to watch the race, that we're very grateful to CADA for once again providing a shuttle service from the Niles Beach area out to Eastern Point, which will run for several hours. So if you're interested in getting to the breakwater, that's the easy way to do it.
And now along behind the Dennis Sullivan comes the schooner Strombus again. And I think if you Google it, a Strombus is a shell. Like what we sometimes call a conch shell, some people call it chambered nautilus. Well, I think a Strombus is a complicated shell. But I don't think that's a complicated schooner. She has a triangular mainsail, which is a little easier to raise than a gaff rig sail. The gaff, as you can see on the Sullivan, is that yard that goes at an angle at the top of the sail, and not quite parallel to the boom, which is a piece of wood, sometimes called a yard. The boom is at the bottom, so that gives that sail that extra shape up there at top to make it like a trapezoid. So a triangular sail can actually be faster, and that's why we give a special prize to those schooners who are able to sail a gas-rigged schooner. Some of these schooners, in fact, I think most of them today, will be going over to Eastern Point and offering a schooner salute to the home of the late great Joe Garland, the Gloucester's historian and the voice of the Schooner Festival Parade of Schooners for many, many years. And so you may hear a schooner salute over there in a little while as they head over to Eastern Point. We have a treat today, and that some of these schooners are coming through for a second time, which is wonderful. Sometimes there's too much wind for them to do that. They need to be very safe. Number one rule, of course, on any vessel is safety first. So here's another look at Isabella, double gas rig schooner with a jib out front, bowsprit out front, and a pointed piece on the stern. But if you look as she goes by, the whole stern is not pointed, squared off transom or stern, and that gives her a distinctive look from the schooner behind her, which is actually pointed at both ends. The schooner Lewis A. Story, which is a small green schooner between Isabella and now coming up Ardell, all of course designed by Harold Burton. The tobacco boat known as the Lewis A. Story, the bow is actually a plumb bow. On Ardell, she's really pointed at both ends, and we like to think it's because Harold could go either way, and that's where he would say he was going. Well, they just asked me if I thought Harold was here. If you're on board the Ardell, give us a cheer from the Ardell. We don't hear you, Ardell. Come on, give us a cheer. All right, and now everybody on the boulevard, let's have a big cheer for the Story, the Ardell, the Story, and Isabella. You're welcome, Harold. Look at this site. I mean, look at that. Just one end of the harbor to the other, filled with these majestic schooners on a gorgeous, gorgeous day. We are very, very lucky and blessed to be here today with this wonderful array of schooners. Ah, there you are. That's Captain Amanda Madeira out there, or maybe it's Harold today. Yes, Harold's the skipper. I can tell by his shirt. He wears a distinctive red t-shirt that we call Harold's Red. The Ardell t-shirt was designed by Harold Burnham.
It's available for sale at our souvenir table, which is right next to the man at the wheel statue.
You have to apply your own pine tar and copper paint.
And here comes the Lone Swan Redbird, built in Vallejo, California, launched in 1982. She was built by a man out in California who owned a small shipyard named Norman Bonenberger, and he specialized in building ferro-cement boats. This is a Bruce Bingham design, and she's a very fast little schooner as long as she's not racing anybody.
And she's for sale.
Yes, I hate to say it, but sadly, if you know anybody who wants a ferro-cement schooner, by all means, come up and see me at the desk. The Captain Stan and I are maybe getting to be a little too old to go frigging in the rigging. On board on Redbird today is Stuart Boyd, who built a Viking ship. We don't have a parade of Viking ships in Gloucester because there's only one. There aren't many Viking ships left in the world. Stuart Boyd decided that instead of buying a red sports car for his midlife crisis, he built a Viking ship. Here's the mighty green dragon. They are the ones to watch. Unfortunately for everybody else except the green dragon, they are very fast, outrunning the redcoats. And that's the Schooner Green Dragon owned by the Besances family. They are a wonderful, beautiful vessel. Let's hear it for the Besances and the Green Dragon. That's Calabash out there with the white schooner, double gaff-rig schooner, coming up from the vineyard for this race. You can see she's fast, so they're one to watch. And there's the Schooner Fame. We are so glad to have the Schooner Fame as a privateer here, firing her colors towards us. This is the first time the Fame has come to the parade. She's usually so quick to get away from pirates that she has to head right back to sailing. Yes, right in front of us now is the Freaky Tiki. And
yeah, it is. That's great.
Just in case you're wondering, she is not the schooner, but she's waving like hell. Let's have a cheer for the Freaky Tiki. Come on, everybody. Yay! They are all sober. Of course, now we have Alert, and out there we have Tyrone. Tyrone is a Crocker schooner. We saw a Crocker schooner earlier today. Eileen Marie, the red hull schooner with one red sail. Schooner Tyrone is now sailing out of Booth Bay.
My sister-in-law called me yesterday. We're in Astoria, Oregon. That's where the Tories are from.
Outboard, there is the schooner Alert going by there. And now,
September 19th. I'll probably be going back in November. My brother's 70th birthday.
you can't really see her, but When and If is out there. You can tell When and If because she has a triangular mainsail. Tyrone is coming in now. You can see her right there, flag flying from her mainmast. That's the schooner Tyrone come down to participate from Booth Bay Harbor. That's a wonderful thing when these boats come this far to be part of the Schooner Festival. This is a homecoming of sorts for schooners in Gloucester because Gloucester is the home of the schooner. And as they say in the old saying in Gloucester, oh my, how she schooned. Schooning is actually a real word. It's out of date now, but it means the same as to skip on the water or to scud. And scud is a word we only associate with missiles. But to skip on the water, to schoon on the water. So here they are, schooning past you right now.
She looks like she's on the sea. Which one is? It's very green. So like yeah. 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 It's supposed to be for a couple of months. Then she told me what.
So right here by the, see that pole right in front of the bird standing on top, just out in the harbor in front of that is a pulling boat that's being pulled by one sail and two oars. There's another map on that pulling boat, it's not set at the moment, but that's part of the spectrum that we're seeing today. If you just take a minute and look out there at the harbor and see these gorgeous boats, what a spectacular spectacular sight we have here today. Mike Costello, former director of the Chamber of Commerce, Justin Dimitri from Maritime Gloucester. I'm Daisy Nell, and we are so happy to be here today. We want to thank you all for coming. Let's hear a big cheer for these schooners here in Gloucester Harbor for the 39th annual Gloucester Schooner Festival. Thank you to Laura Lowell, who is beside me, giving us information, and thanks to Art Bevilacqua from Soundtrack, and to Joey Shimataro from Good Morning Gloucester. What a wonderful day, folks. Have a wonderful time at the Schooner Festival today. And that does it for our parade. That's a wrap.
Okay, we're going to finish up here. It looks pretty good. We have to thank everyone.
We should thank our hosts.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
Okay. We are so happy to have you all here with us today for the Parade of Sail. As a reminder that the race is at 1 o'clock. There are shuttle buses from, I believe, Niles Beach out to Eastern Point, which I understand is a great spot to watch the race from. Take advantage of that if you have the opportunity. Get down to the docks. I4C2 docks. See the boats. Get on the ones that you're allowed to get on.
Okay, I'm just moving the camera here for a second. Just a second. Tom, right there. You waved to everybody.
Thank you. Awesome job.
Thanks for everything, guys. Most important is, who made those mimosas?
You're awesome.
Oh, boy. They were fantastic. Oh, well, we're going to pack up and get off, and then we'll talk about that.
All right.
Thank you for everything, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, Pat.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.